Hey, I came as fast as I could after eating my pizza. So, apparently today we have chapter 4, and as far as I can tell, it's like 10 pages or something. And apparently, it has something to do with a contest, and we are light years away. Oh, there's a crashed ship. And we assume, of course, what this is. It's the remains of a very broken Theseus. Or whatever. And of course, the broskies, they just be walking. Well, it's actually just a singular broski. That is a really nice rosebot. I was not expecting this, honestly. Are you finished posing dramatically out there? I think Terezi wants a turn. Rose, enter. Hey. Terezi really looking hip like that, you know? Honestly, didn't think it could get any better, and I was wrong. She's more than welcome. I've had my fill. Feels good, doesn't it? Now we get over here. We've got business to discuss. Rose, render yourself more symbolically this instant. Ooh, yeah. Aw, yeah. Slick. Slick strats. And of course, we've got some turntables here, because, I mean, epic. Terezi, you too.
No thanks, I'm good. In fact, now that we're here, I can't imagine anything worse than sitting down with you two for another little chat. You've ruined the very concept of talking for the rest of my life.
Oh, come on. It wasn't really all that... Oh, come on. It wasn't really all that bad, was it? I'm gonna do the BFDI voice. Oh, how is it going? Dirk may be completely insufferable. Thanks. But we've had some pretty good times over the course of the journey, didn't we?
I'm struggling to think of any.
Oh, how you wound me.
3 years of anime plot analysis is just enough to turn any relationship sour.
Alright, that's fair. The anime was rather tedious. Wow. But I posit... Sorry. I got pizza crust stuck in my throat. But I posit that it could have been much, much worse. At the very least, none of us succumbed to substance abuse, or re-succumbed, I guess I should say. The perks of not having an appetite or a liver, in my case. In yours, I'm actually not sure. Perhaps the underlying cognitive dissonance of trauma you were originally trying to distract yourself from is no longer a growing concern. Or, no wait, that's not right. I'm thinking of a different Terezi. Or maybe I'm thinking of a different me. Maybe the different me is thinking of a different Terezi, and I'm just witnessing the thought happen as a bystander. It's much the same thing at this point. And I suppose I'm also prematurely ruling out the potential of anime functioning as an abusable substance, in which case, I've got a very bad news for all of us. We may need to formulate a 12-step plan. Let me know if you show any signs of withdrawal.
Rose, oh my god, my point couldn't have been any more obvious if you sat on it. We may be in complete agreement about Dirk being a tedious nook wipe.
We are?
But newsflash, you aren't actually any better. Sleep without Soper doesn't come easy to my species, and yet I somehow managed to spend a good chunk of our 3-year journey unconscious. That's how fucking tedious the two of you are. And the worst part is that neither of you actually have the decency to do anything legitimately awful. You just sit down there and drone on and on, talking about things that don't matter, and asking questions that don't have answers. We're on a new planet, seeing things which have possibly never been experienced before, and all you can think about is to hole up in a cave and regurgitate completely pointless bullshit.
It's called philosophizing.
Well, it should be illegal as far as I'm concerned. Ugh. Stop calling her that. Okay, I'm done.
Oh, yeah, you changed it to Rose.
Okay, I'm done. Screw you both. I'm gonna go and introduce some plants to the troll emotion we call terror.
Well, if you change your mind about philosophy, I won't. Okay. Oh, really, honestly, really slick. I'm really liking the shoes. That was odd, even by Terezi's standards. She's fine, doubtless. But wouldn't it be the best way for her to return before discussing our future plans? Whether she likes it or not, she is a part of this goofy expedition. She isn't part of this, though. A part of this. Oh, oh, I really like that. That's a good... I really like that arm. Gives me kind of a Flash animation, kind of rigid design. You mean she isn't a god? She isn't a ruler either. She isn't suited for it. And we are? Come on, you know that we are. But I think I can present a pretty convincing case if need be. So you wanted to have a dialect about it first, just to be sure. I'm game. Where shall our allegory begin? Beg pardon? Oh, come on, the cave. I have to say I'm a little disappointed in you. 3 years, and not once did I witness you replacing any parts of the ship. How are we to jerk ourselves off philosophies if you don't lean into your clumsy illusions? That's a fair question, but since the name you suggested was nothing more than a very juvenile play on words, I can't say you've got much ground to stand on. What's juvenile about the can't? Nothing, at least not when you say it. It's not my fault you sound like a gay cowboy. See what I have to deal with? And yes, I'm still here. For the time being, I want to keep things brief, narratively speaking. Look, we can have this argument later. I'll pencil it in. For now, we don't need to talk about Deltrius. Deltrius. Check with Rose. Class, atmosphere, sure. Water, lots. There's a rose bot. I think that's a 3. Blow, huge landing site. Caves, potentially. Fuck if I... additional pens. Alchemize, additional pens. Food, I guess. Blow a huge bit. I don't even know what that is. Well, here's Deltrius. I'd like to suggest a preliminary topic of discussion. Shoot, or rather, a point of constructive criticism. That name, yes? It absolutely blows. Okay, in the interest of open-minded discourse, I'd like to counter by saying that I think it's pretty dope. But it's fine, we don't settle for that. Do you have any better suggestions? No, I'm simply making an observation. So, you could at least come up with an alternative. Making shit is hard. I think having a good name for the planet is an important first step in telling its story, which is what we're here to do. I agree, names are potent symbols after all. I just think we have a different understanding of what a good name entails in this instance. To be clear, I think it is the perfect name for this place. It's just that when it comes to habitable planets, I think there is something unwritten law of our reality which dictates that the name should be either boring, like Earth, or insufferable, like Alternia, or Beforus. Or Deltarius. Alright, I get it. Insufferably boring gets you bonus points. I think that's partly the point of it. It's a name to be lived on. It becomes a kind of furniture, so to speak. Or I suppose you could see it as a place of origin. The absolute 0 point of growth, kind of like a family name. A name that some people are always trying to leave behind, because it's the only way to make sure one is moving at all. It's a dirt beneath your feet. So, I suppose, in a way, every planet is Earth. Right, we're not going to call the planet Earth as well, though. No, it'd be far too cliche. Quadruply so. Even Deltrius it is. It's amazing how you managed to both shit on my idea and make it seem a lot more justified in hindsight. Well, of course. I'm an author. I apply my trade on well-justified bullshit. Anyways, to business. Again. I got pizza. Sorry. This is a terrible Rose voice, but I just can't stop thinking about BFDI. Yeah, the point is, we'll be building intelligent life on this planet from scratch. That was one of our key mistakes when Earth-C. We should have started our guidance from the very beginning, instead of letting it grow organically in our image. I'm not sure I agree, but go on. No, please, knock yourself out. We stayed on topic for a few seconds, and I hate to make it a habit. Our own world was abandoned by its gods, or I suppose its god never reached it. The trolls beat their game, but we were unable to actually claim their reward and take their places in its pantheon. In a sense, our creators abandoned us, and while I can't say that our world developed well, I don't think it would have been better off being guided. Especially considering who would have been doing the steering, although I guess you can't prove that kind of negative statement. Anyways, what exactly were we proposing? Ever heard of the watchmaker analogy? Yes. Damn, okay, humor me anyway. Say you're an alien and you're walking on a beach. An Earth beach. If it wasn't clear, you're an alien who has never come in contact with the human race before. So say you're an alien, and you find a pocket watch on the beach. You've never seen anything like it before, so you pick it up and open it and try to figure out how it works. You see all the gears moving smoothly, all the pieces fitting together like a flawless interlocking pattern. Looking at the face, you realize that it keeps perfect time. You, the alien, ask yourself, how could something so perfect, with a flawless form suited to go its task, come into being? And so, the argument goes. Someone created it. Time needs to be told, so a craftsman made something to tell it. Exactly. This analogy always struck me as completely contrived. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, how many fucking pocket watches does one usually stumble across in the ground randomly? Fuck it, who stumbles across a pocket watch anywhere? This isn't the goddamn... I'm spitting, I'm really excited about reading. This isn't the goddamn 1800s. That point in history when people were famously tripping over errant clockwork every time they went outside. And don't forget, there are aliens in this version of history too. Yeah, I think I might have made up that part though. Probably wasn't part of the original. Although, considering the version of Earth's history I was familiar with, I guess the aliens end up being the most believable thing in the whole setup. I suppose, in a way, this argument's own existence fulfills the same philosophical premise as the analogy itself. It's a scenario perfectly suited to its function, which is to convince you of the existence of intelligent design, one that is so unlikely to have risen by chance that the presence of an artificer is a natural conclusion. It is a weird spiral of concept, really. Its creators all the way down. Haha, yeah, but I guess my response here would be that this is an argument in favor of the intelligent design being a factor in the creation of a universe. It's not an argument that intelligent design should be a factor in the creation of a universe. That's a question of morality. True, but if the intelligent design is a reality, and I think our experiences indicate that yeah, there's a pretty good chance, then wouldn't failing to continue it be an abdication or something of our responsibility? If we can order this world and we fail to, is that really any better than smashing the watch ourselves? You don't want to be responsible for screwing it up, and I get that, but failing to act isn't more wrongly justifiable than acting wrongly. So it's a real moral argument that you're making. It sounds like we've detoured into the trolley problem here. Or trolley, or I don't know. Or maybe derailed is a more appropriate description. Ugh. I hope nobody is tied to the tracks of this conversation, at least. Rose, you're avoiding the question. You came to this planet, you saw it in your mind's eye, and chose to come here, more or less. Wasn't that because, on some level, you wanted to have a hand in its future? Maybe. At least, I think so. It is a bit hard to weigh my motivations for coming against the reality of what we're proposing to do here, in the sense that I am not sure how to even go about making that kind of calculation. I want to create something wholly new, something that's ours, but I can't help but wonder what right to do the two of us specifically have to do that. We won the game, though. We're literally fucking creators. We have as much right as anyone possibly could. I'm not sure I feel good about putting that victory on my resume, especially not since so much luck was involved. While the conclusion was simultaneously determined from the very beginning, a paradox which is typical of the complete mess that is our lives, and which possibly makes no sense to anyone but us, I suppose that's the point I'm trying to make. We quite possibly know that more about our reality than anyone else ever could, which you could say makes us plentifully qualified. But it's the self-same knowledge that tells us that maybe nobody ever could be qualified for this kind of creator endeavor. She's avoiding the question again. It's amazing how one can technically have the maximum amount of metaphysical, personal awareness possible and still not notice these sorts of things. It's stuff like this that makes me wonder sometimes whether there's anything about myself that I'm missing. Then I throw that wonder in the garbage can and I turn the incinerate setting on. That was a little bit of ironic self-deprecation on my part, and I know that recently I've made a habit of simply discarding things that are pointlessly difficult or irritating, or, if you're so inclined, uncomfortable. It's something that I've learned in order to cope with. Well, never mind, it's better this way, and I'm not going to air my trauma or whatever in front of y'all. The point is that knowing about it doesn't mean that I don't do it, and nor would it necessarily make it easier for me to stop if I wanted to. Personal failings, if you can call this one, don't work that way. I would know. I also know Rose is probably just the same. She sees it happening and can't stop it, and takes a strange pride in knowing herself so well. And at the same time, she feels hurt to be so utterly predictable to herself. But that's a pain you have to lean into when presented with the sum total of all possible self-knowledge. I suppose this actually kind of answers the question about ultimate self-awareness. Damn, did we just identify and then immediately solve a mystery in the space of a few paragraphs? I think we might have. Good work on us. Talking so long and back to back is making my spit, because I never talk that much, and I'm not used to talking. Even so, I want to do this. I have to want it. How could I not, after everything we gave up to make it happen? Walking away at this point would be, well, regardless, we don't have that option. The thesis is totaled. I almost want to make a joke about us not getting it insured, though I'm worried it might indicate what Dave would call early onset responsible adult syndrome. It's easy for him to just make fun of us. He's immune. Possibly. He certainly wasn't showing any symptoms at his last checkup, but that was well over 3 years ago at this point. Rose looks off into space, seeming to exist at a very great distance for a while, and then, at a perfectly calculated moment, she chuckles quietly, almost mournfully to herself. I'm rambling again. Told you so. It's okay. I'm sure there was some good reasoning buried fuck deep in there somewhere. Future archaeologists will unearth it eventually. It sounds like you made up your mind, though. Maybe. She hesitates again. Not sure? No, come on, Rose. Yes, you are. You know this is what you want to do. More than that, you know it's the right thing to do. Might as well get it over with. Fine. Excellent. What? Don't look at me like that. She was already on board with it all in name, but we'd both know it. So why waste our time? You've got better things to do, and as of right now, so do Rose and I. I cordially invite you all to fuck off with your judgmental attitude. By which I mean fuck off right back here, because we've still got important exposition to deal with. You mentioned playing a game together. I take it that this is involved somehow. Bingo. And I take it you have a format of play in mind as well. Yep, so I guess the basic premise is, yeah, we could establish a new civilization on Deltriarius, cook up a new freakish alien species, and steer them towards playing the game at a distance using the command terminal. It would certainly be a challenging application of our combined skills, but it doesn't strike me as being all that fun by itself. For clarity's sake, the second game you're referring to here is the game that we played 10 years ago. Spurb, or Sagrub, I guess, whatever it'll be called this time around. Yeah, that's the game. Gotta be careful with those capitals. The game between the two of us is going to be different. I propose that we turn this into a contest of sorts. Each of us takes responsibility for creating our own separate species, each with their own design, society, and culture. Then we put them against one another to see which will ultimately play the game. For the love of God, please let's call it something else, if only for the sanity-fraying memories of memes long past. That's our culture you're talking about. Have some goddamn respect. Actually, it was my culture. I think it's more accurate to say that you appropriate it 400 years later. You're right, I'm sorry. Mea culpa. I regret everything. Yeah. Ooh. Blue house. Oh, someone made a thing on the subreddit earlier about the blue house being MSPA readers thing, but I guess this is their thing. Or it could be the MSPA reader, and it's just a circle of dumb. Bullshit aside, that's the contest I'd like to propose. 2 gods, 2 species, 1 copy of the game. We have a lot of time to kill before it's ready to play. Might as well have some fun in the meantime. I'm intrigued. That's good. Intrigued is good. I have a few questions before we begin. First and most pressing, how do you propose we go about doing this? What are our raw materials? Unless you're planning to give me a rib, I'm not sure what we are going to work from. That's fair enough. There doesn't appear to be anything in the way of animal life on this planet for us to use. But that's not important. We've got all the raw material we need already. Quite literally, in fact, we're going to make a new species out of us. I see. Don't worry, it doesn't imply actually breaking ourselves down into usable matter or anything like that. What I mean is that we have 2 humans worth of genetic material to start from, and more importantly, the technology to use that material to synthesize something new. Selective biology, then. It's part of it, yeah. Let's take this into the lab. The lab. Yeah, it's just another fucking cave, okay? Dirk and Rose, proceed to lab. Yeah, it's another cave. Okay, so they're there, and, ooh, that's a big machine. This cave has a lab-like ambience. I'll give it that. And I've seen a few labs in my time. Sweet. It's got the lawn criticism of approval. No honor could be higher. I'm sure I could have come up with something better if I wasn't still internally reeling at the prospect of us becoming our own biblical progenitors. Yeah, the old bearded man in the sky wishes he had one of these babies, though. I'm sounding like a robot with Dirk. Oh no. I'm trying to do the critical voice. All he had was heterosexuality and a very long con. Although, I guess they're both essentially the same thing. Oh shit. There's something so delicious about the 2 of us being the ones to populate an entire planet from scratch. The irony doesn't get much sweeter. How quickly you learn, my child. I'm so proud of you. Anyway, that horseshit aside, it turns out that basically all of the equipment that Spurb gave us can be integrated into one device, with the ability to perform both alchemical and ectobiological functions. The idea is pretty simple. We each contribute our own genetic sequences from the form of paradox slime, and then use it as a base to graft new material onto, using alchemy. Doesn't that strike you as a little, incestuous slurry adjacent? Oh, that shouldn't be an issue. We're each going to be keeping our slime to ourselves. How courteous. How courteous. In any case, after the base material is collected and the alchemical mix is finalized, we rapidly accelerate the development of the synthesized life forms to a point at which they can form a society of sorts. So, in theory, what the mayor and his associates did on Earth, but just larger in scope, instead of staying within the framework of a species that already exists. And here, we won't be waiting thousands of years for the development to happen in real time. This plays to our advantage in more ways than one. For one thing, it's pretty clear that we aren't going to get this right on the first try. I've been conceiving of this as a long game of many individual moves. Each of us building and advancing in response to the concepts thrown out by the other. Think of it as a collaborative world building. All those D&E nights on the meteor finally turned to my advantage. Well, okay, I think I understand the premise well enough. Why don't you start things off? Roll the first die. Alright, sweet. So we take Dirk, sitting next to his brobalone, talking to Rosebud, and we got that slime. First things first, getting a hold of myself. There's about 15 different unfunny jokes we could make about this, but let's just fucking chill for once in our goddamn lives. Ah, man, I'm making me sound like a robot. I'm not meaning to do this. I'm sorry, it's the easiest voice I can do. Agreed, and I'll make no mention of you sucking yourself in any capacity. God shitting damn it. So, we got Dirk times whatever equals Dirk and G-cat. Next step is adding mutations. We can use any old shit for this. Literally any capsulable object can be added into the mix by inserting its card into one of the slots here. And by using a combination of ands, orgs, and so on, we can apply the science of alchemy to that of ectobiology, alchemical biology, if you will. In the original process of breeding the Genesis frog, we'd be doing this kind of the opposite, screening out distortions in his divine genetic waveform, so to speak. Here, we're adding noise deliberately, kind of like a genetic SBAHJ-ification. Three-bone halogification. Inside of this machine is one big artificial genetic infidelity bonanza. Dave would approve. We got some fruit gushers, a squiddle, and a plant, and we throw them in here, and we make... Sup, I thought you'd punch the cards to use them in the stunt slots. I recall devising a sequence of analogies for the process in my walkthrough once upon a time. Hardly my best work, but the principles were sound. No, you're right. I was being politely self-effacating, Dirk. You didn't have to agree with me. About the holes in the cards, I mean. I'm not really sure why we don't have to do that anymore. I think this machine punches the cards with the correct pattern once you put them in. Although the implication of the holes would enable it to read the same information. Sounds like the appropriate degree of profound ridiculousness. I love it. Yeah, I'm a bit surprised you remember anything about this shit, even though we can't technically forget anything anymore. Me too. It's amazing what pieces of inconsequential information your mind can recall at the moment's notice, a whole decade after they were last relevant or interesting to anyone. I think I missed this. Oh, that should be everything taken care of. This will be my first move, the opening gambit in the grand game for this planet. All that remains is to see the result. Indeed, press the button, Doctor. Push the button. And... Ecto-alchemo... I don't even know how to say that. Behold. My creation. Dirk and Rose, behold. Don't leave it out on this. Oh? Oh. Dirk. Rose. Game on. Whoa. Now let me just get a look at that thing. Oh god. Oh no. This is... Oh no. Oh, you should not have put everything in there. Oh, jeepers. Wow, that's... I'm just gonna stay on this page for a while. That's... Wow. So we're gonna do what I do with everything, as you can see. Right here. I always put one of the pages, so we're gonna make that our desktop background. Game on. We'll, of course, make this our desktop background until the next thing comes out in, like, 2 weeks. So this desktop background. Feel it? That is desktop background. We had Dirk on the first time in his room. Next time was, Dirk on the... There's a lot of Dirk. The first 2 times were Dirk, and then we had... something. I can't remember what page it was for the third one. Fourth one was, of course, the one you saw when I used it right there, and this will be our next one. 2 complete games and stuff. Okay. I guess this will be it for now. I don't know what to talk about, honestly. This is a good thing. I really liked seeing the designs. Let's go back to those. That's beautiful. I really like these designs. They're good. Let's go back. Let's get the actual cool designs. Go back. There we go. I like how she looks like Lady Liberty. I like how he still has the painting too, and some of his things, and a pen. I swear, I really hope, like, the painting becomes, like, a huge part of the story. Like, they use the painting, and it creates the perfect species. That'd be really funny. Yeah. There's a lot of caves here. Let's take a look at this, well, this is nice. Looks like a Powerpuff Girl. That is a pretty cool pose. I could, like, Terezi or something, maybe. Walks away from both of them. Gotta look back on the planet. Yeah, they just landed straight in a desert. Like, there's a bunch of trees over here, and there's just desert. They landed in a desert. That's unfortunate. Gotta look at this planet, I assume. There we go. Yeah, it's a nice planet. Bright. Really bright. Anyways, see you later. Have fun.